first topic we're going to address in this unit is the cells and tissues of the immune system. So can you tell us about the basic structure of the immune system?
Well, unlike some other organs, the immune system is really spread throughout the whole body. Okay, so we have cells that are circulating through our blood, so to speak, and we've got cells circulating through our tissues. And we'll learn all about those in 2011. But we also have these defined structures that we can actually put our finger on it and say that's part of the immune system. And so some that the students would know about would be bone. Okay, bone marrow is really important for the immune system, and so lots of our cells originate from the bone marrow. And then we have other organs such as spleen. So spleen is an immune organ which is involved in generating immune responses, but also lymph nodes. So people might know lymph nodes with their experience of going to the doctors, and they might be feeling them in their groins or up here if they're swollen, so they're lymph nodes, and that's where immune responses are made. But also one that they may not know about is called the thymus, where specialised cells, or the T cells, get made. And so these are distributed all throughout the body. So, and that sort of makes sense because, you know, the immune system is supposed to protect us in all parts of the body.
So students, you mentioned lymph nodes, and
Yep.
students have probably heard of lymphatics. Can you tell us what the lymphatics are?
So think of the lymphatics as like a drainage system for your tissues. Okay, and it basically, what it does is two things. It drains fluids from the tissues back into the blood, so you get this constant circulation, and it would involve litres a day, 5 to 6 litres a day, just constantly going around. And sometimes, for example, you might see someone with a swollen leg, and often that could be a lymphatic problem because the fluid is not actually draining out of the tissue. But also, as we've evolved, the immune system has taken this on board, and so it's a way of actually transporting pathogens that we might be exposed to in our tissues through the lymphatics to these lymph nodes that I've talked about before. So it's a way of actually collecting and transporting specific antigens or pathogens to where we can actually make immune responses.
So what are the major cell types that we're interested in this week?
Yep. So the major cell types we're going to be talking about this week are cells that we find predominantly in the blood. And so there's lots of cells associated with the immune system. We're not going to look at them all because it would just be overly complicated. But the key ones are what we would call the granulocytes and the lymphocytes. Okay, and they have slightly different characteristics. So the granulocytes are more granular, so just trying to think of grains of sand, so they look a bit more granular if you look at them in specialised ways. And within those you'll have cells that are called neutrophils or eosinophils or macrophages, for example. And then we've got our lymphocytes that we'll talk about a lot more later in the semester. So there's all different types, and they all have slightly different functions. Some of them overlap, but altogether they form a nice response, hopefully.
Do you have a favourite cell?
I like the neutrophil, actually. Come to think of that, because it's sort of weird the way the nucleus is structured. Anyway, we'll get to see that in class.